Okay, here we go again. Today we're going to talk about sets and ordinal data types. So let's get started. We have the activity we're going to do is going to be based on the work in this section here called Boolean expressions, simplifying compound big words. Basically, it's all about using ordinal data types and using set notation and the in operator, in. So I'm going to demonstrate that to you with a spreadsheet first, but we're also going to be covering this activity 3 number 1. So let's just go and have a look at our spreadsheet about ordinal data types here. Ordinal data types and sets. An ordinal data type is a char, an integer, also a boolean is considered an ordinal data type. What do they mean by ordinal data type? It means we know that characters go from A, B, C, D, E, F all the way to Z, and integers go, all the negative integers, minus 10, minus 9, minus 8, minus 6, minus 7, minus 6, and so on, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on. They follow one to the other. And Boolean is true or false. There's only two. Chars, data types, integers, and booleans are called ordinal data types because they have a progression, a natural progression from one to the other. And we use them in set notation, in if statements. Here's an example of, if you want to get a character from A to G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you can say if the C char, that character, is in the set. The sets are described with square brackets, and the in operator, that word in, is a reserved word in Delphi. And if you use in, then you use a set notation after the word in, and the set notation has square brackets, and you put the ranges in like that. Numbers, integers, only integers, not real numbers. Only chars, not strings. If I num in the set from 10 to 20, the two dots separate the range. Okay, you can also have if I num in, let's say we're going to put it in the set square brackets. Let's say we want 3, 6, 9, 10. If you want numbers that only in that set, okay, let's go and put it like that. If I num in the set 3, 6, 9, 10, so in other words, if your number is either 3 or 6 or 9 or 10, and you can write the set notation like that. It's much easier than saying if I num equals 3 or if I num equals 6 or if I num equals 9 or if I num if I num equals 3, else if I num equals 6, else if I num equals 9, else if I, you see that's quite a lot of code to write. So if you just use a simple set notation like that, then it will check if the processor will check if it's in one of those numbers, if the I num is equal to one of those numbers, 3, 6, 9 or 10 in this case, then you can have the rest of your code after that. So here we have examples. I have one here in green, says if C char, if the character's in capital A to G or small letter a to G. So if you have not upcased C char, then you can have that in set notation. Or if the I number is num is from 10 to 20 or from 1 to 5, and take note how it's written, square brackets 10 dot dot 20 comma 1 dot dot 5, the two dots meaning a range from 1 to 5 or a range from 10 to 20. Right, what do you think this statement here at the bottom means? If not, upcase C char, in other words, we're upcasing C char before we go and check what C char is. If it's in the set A, E, I, O, U, we know that is vowels. Okay, if the C char is a vowel, but a consonant is if it's not in this set. So what this if statement, the not there, means if it's not a vowel, if a character is not a vowel, and you have to write it like if not uppercase CHR in whatever. So you put the not first, and then you open the brackets. You have the set whatever you want it not to be in brackets, and you have uppercase CHR and checking to see if it's in the set of vowels. So you can study this. I'll include in the data files, and we will go on to the activity. So we know what set notation is, we know what ordinal data types are. So let's do activity 3, number 1. And that one describes this over here, that activity 3, number 1. The user enters an ID number using an input box, and we've got to display whether the person is male or female, and we've got to look at the 7th character to see whether the person is male or female. The 7th character, if it's 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4, then the person's female. Otherwise 5, 6, 7, 8, then the person is male. We know these digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We know those are all the digits we can have from 0 to 9. Okay, those are the only digits we can have in any ID number. Have a look over here. It's an example of an ID number. Let's call it SID. Now remember, ID numbers must always be declared as strings, and they are 13 digits long. An ID number must be 13, and it must have numbers in it, and we must declare it as a string. We're never going to do any calculations with ID numbers. We're not going to add an ID number to another ID number or multiply an ID number. We're not going to do any mathematical calculations with an ID number. Therefore, you always declare it as a string. Even though it's called ID number, you declare it, use string variable to declare an ID number. So what we're going to do in this program, I'm going to test to see if the ID number is 13 digits long, because this is the character numbers here. Must be 13 characters in the ID number, and also every single character must be an integer. So let's go and do that first. Right, in the test gender button, we're going to ask the user to enter an input box. All right, double click, and I'm going to make a variable called SRD string, and I'm going to say SRD equals input box. Input box is a function that returns a string. It has 3 parameters. All of the parameters are strings, parameters being the things inside brackets that you must enter. SRD equals input box, open brackets. The first parameter is what we want the person to do. Enter an ID number, and then we're going to put in a message. The second parameter is we're going to give some stipulation, 13 digits, 13 digits. Okay, and then the third parameter is going to be the empty place where the person types in. So we leave that as an empty string, 2 single inverted commas. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if length. I'm going to check if the length of the ID, if length of SRD, if it's not equal to 13, then I'm going to basically show a message and exit. Show message only 13 digits, something to that effect, and then we will exit so that the person has to click the button again. Exit meaning the button click will be ended. We then have to go and value val SRD, okay, rnum, comma rcode. So we have to have 2 integers after our val procedure. Val is a procedure. Input box is a function on that hand side of the equal sign, and val is a procedure because there's no equal sign or anything associated with. We need rnum and rcode. I have explained this before. If you go back to the previous videos, rnum is the integer that is a variable that represents the integer that SRD is going to try and convert to an rnum. Rcode is going to be the result of the processor trying to convert. So what it does a preliminary check to see if SRD can be converted to rnum, an integer, and rcode will be 0 if it can be. So if rcode is not equal to 0 after this procedure has happened, then we will show message and exit. In numbers only, something to that effect. Enter numbers only. Right, because it means that SRD had some characters in that are not integers. Once we've done that, we know that, you know, the processor will exit this procedure and then the user has to click the button again. But if these are all, if this is not, if the length is 13, the length is equal to 13, and each of the digits in SRD are integers, then we know that this will happen next. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull out SRD character number 7. Can you see there? SRD character number 7. That's how we represent it, as SRD square brackets and the number 7 inside the square brackets. That is now SRD square bracket 7 is now a character data type. SRD is a string, but SRD character number 7 is a character. SRD square bracket 7 is now a character. If that is in the set of 0.4, sorry, not 1.4, 0.4. Now take note, 0.4 are integers, but we are looking for characters representation. So if the character is a 0 in square brackets, or a 4, a 0 in inverted commas, and a 4 in inverted commas, that means that the 0 is represented as a character, 0 to character number 4. Then we will display message, show message, SRD character number 7, the person is female. Now if the character is not from 0 to 4, we know that the person is going to be male, because anything not 0 to 4 will be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we don't have to go and check if it's from 5 to 9, because we know 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is it. So let's go and see if this works. Take note, we have used characters 0 to 4. We're assuming they're going to go from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we'll see about that, eh? Let's go and put in the ID number that I've used here. 550411, 550411, 5184, 083. The person is male. Yes, it's 5. His ID 7 is 5 and the person is male. Right, so that was quite interesting, because even the character 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is progressed. You would have thought that maybe we have to do this, convert it to an integer, string to int SRD7 in the number 0 to 4. Now, what if we did that? You converted that character, we said string to int, we can do that. Character number 7 in 0 to 4. And we change the numbers from 0 to 4. Let's see if that works as well. I'm going to use the same number that I did before. 550411 5184083. 5 is male. There we go. So we used a character before, or we used integers. Can you see this is now string to int? We've converted that character to integers, and then we had to use a 0 to 4 there, but it still worked if we did not convert it to an integer and we used 0 to 4. So that tells us that even the numbers 0 to 4 as chars, characters, are still in ordinal value, ordinal data types. Okay, so you try and do that program without looking, and then you'll have learnt a lot.